Hey, this is my report on The Murder Room, which was written by P.D. James, which is a very interesting novel. And this report may or may not be interesting. Let's find out. Yeah. Okay. The Murder Room is about the Dupain Museum, which highlights Great Britain from World War I to World War II. And the most visited part of the museum is the Murder Room, which highlights all the serial killers from Great Britain during those times. And the founder of the museum is Max Dupain, and it was left with his children, Neville, Marcus, and Caroline Dupain. And Caroline and Marcus are very involved with the museum and are trying to keep it going because it's starting to fade with its popularity, and the lease is coming up, and they need to vote on whether to keep it going or just let it go. And Neville, who is struggling money-wise, is just saying they should let it go and not continue on with it. And so when they go to vote for it and people find out he wants to end it, he then becomes a target and is later found dead in his car. And Commander Dalgleish is called on to investigate the murder, and it turns out that the murder was a replica of one of the serial killers that was already in the murder room. So in order to solve it, Dalgleish has to think like that serial killer, and I'm not going to reveal the rest because I probably said too much already, but Dalgleish is one of the more involved characters in the story, as he's the one investigating, trying to figure out what happened to Neville. And throughout the book, he's very to himself, and throughout the investigation, he begins opening up to more people as they try to assist him. And eventually, he falls in love. And it was interesting because he was shy. And in my favorite part of the book, he wrote a letter to this woman, and here it is. He approached the woman and he said, "I'm no Captain Wentworth, but please read this. Please read it now. I'll wait for you at the end of the platform." And now, standing alone, he turned away because he couldn't bear to see her stuffing the letter into her pocket and entering the train. And then he made himself look. She was standing apart from the thinning crowd and she was reading. So he finds a girl, solves a murder, and then proposes through a letter. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, more importantly, in this book, there's a lot of cognitive psychology as Dalgleish is forced to think as a serial killer as he's trying to solve the mystery, and it just plays an important role. And as far as recommending this book to a friend or enemy, I would, if you have patience and time, because it's very long and it makes you think, and some parts aren't very interesting, but it picks up here and there. Yeah. And so ends my very interesting book